And for the next little bit, we're going to be taking a closer look at equations. And more specifically, we're going to take a closer look at balancing equations. Now, what that means is when we look at an equation, and for simplicity's sake, let's start off with something that we all know, something like 1 plus 2 equals 3, okay? This is an example of an equation. We know that whatever is happening on one side of the equation, if there's an equal sign in the middle, then we know that the other side of that equal sign, whatever's on the other side of that equal sign, is equal to what's on the opposite side of that equal sign. Now, this is true even if we flip our equation around. So if we had 3 equals 1 plus 2, that's the same thing. That's saying the exact same thing. We know we have 3 on this side, and we know if we add 2 and 1 together, we also get 3. We know we have 3 on this side as well. This has to be true if we have an equal sign in the middle. We know whatever we have on the left side has to equal whatever we have on the right side. And we can use this in order to figure out parts of an equation that are missing. So we're going to do this using this little computer program over here. So if you're wanting to pull this up as well, you can type into Google NCTM pan balance. Oh, sorry, that's supposed to be an N. NCTM pan balance numbers interactive. And you should be able to pull up something that looks like this. It's the National Council of Teaching Materials, I believe is what that stands for. So you're going to get something that looks like this. And the reason we use a pan balance, which is just those balance things that you probably used in grade 1 or 2, where you put stuff in one side and that side goes down, and then when you put the same amount in the other side, then it balances out. The reason we use this is because it's similar to an equation. We want to make sure that the one side has the same amount of stuff in it as the other side. So that's why we use a balance scale like we have here. So we're going to be doing that exact same thing. So I'm going to start off by putting some stuff into this red side of my balance scale. So I'm just putting in a random equation. So I'm going to start off with 8 plus 7. Now the good thing about this interactive is that it tells me what this side of my equation or my balance scale equals. It's telling me that 8 plus 7 equals 15. Now I could easily figure that out myself, but it's going to tell me that it equals 15. Now we know that this side has to equal the same thing if this is an equation, for it to be a balanced equation, for it to be equal. So if I go ahead and I start off with 5 on this side, how much more do I have to add to this side in order for it to be balanced? I want you to pause this video for a second and see if you can figure it out. Okay, hopefully you were able to figure out that if I add another 10 to this side, I'm going to get a balanced scale, because now on both sides of my scale, I have 15. Awesome. So I'm going to reset my balance. I can leave this over here because I have a nice balanced equation over here. Let's try a subtraction version of this. It works the exact same way. Whatever I have on one side, I need to have on the other side as well. So if I have 10 minus 3 on this side, which I know equals 7, if I have 4 on this side, how much more do I need to add to it in order to balance these out? Pause the video again and see if you can figure it out. Okay, hopefully you were able to figure out that if I add another 3 to this side, it's going to balance out. Now let's say you made a mistake and you had 4, oops, I have to click on a side before it'll let me do it. If I had 1 plus 2 over here, but then I went and put 8 on this side, you can see that my balance scales are off kilter, or one is lower than the other. And we can see that the heavier one is what is lower. If I were to take some away from this one, I think this is the, oh, no, I don't want that. I want to backspace. If I were to just put 3 on this side, it would also equal out as well. Okay? So what you are going to be responsible for your activity is you are going to be looking at some, you're going to see my messy desktop in a second. You're going to be looking at some equations for me, some balance pan equations. So at the very top, you have an example. So we have 3 plus 2 on this side. So 3 blocks plus another 2 blocks. And then on this side, we have a total of 5 blocks. So I know that this is equal. We can see that the 2 pans are in line with one another. So what you're going to be looking for down here is you're going to be looking at each one of these examples. And you're going to be circling it if it is true. And it says that up here. So circle the equations that are true. Okay, so you're going to pretend this middle part is an equal sign, just like they put here. Okay, now remember, if they're in line with one another, I'm saying that they're equal. If one is lower than the other, I'm saying that they are not equal. I'm saying that one is heavier, the lower one is heavier, and the one that's higher up is lighter. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be circling the ones that are true. So in this case, I would circle this one because I know I have 5 over here and I have 5 over here, and it's saying that they are equal to one another. Okay? If this one was lower than this one, I wouldn't be able to circle it because I know that they're equal, and that wouldn't be true. So you're going to circle the ones that are true. You have 4 to look at, and you're going to put a circle around the ones that are true. And I'll make sure you have enough circles to just kind of move for circling if you need to. Okay? So good luck with that, and you'll just submit that in your Google slide. Okay?